Today, a 77-year-old Aboriginal man has taken legal action against the Queensland Government to recover his stolen wages. Hans Pearson is one of 300 elderly Aboriginal people suing the government in a class action to get back money he earned but was never paid. His nephew, the prominent Aboriginal leader Noel Pearson, says Indigenous disadvantage today can be traced back to this kind of injustice. Michael Atkin has this exclusive report.
For a young Hans Pearson, working as a stockman on a cattle station in far north Queensland was a big adventure.
About after dark, you'd get up about 5 o'clock in the morning to muster the horses, get them ready for the muster for the day, and you'd go and get back to the camp, stockyards till about 5, 6 o'clock at night. I loved it, you know. We thought we were cowboys at the time.
Hans lived the life of a cowboy from 1954 to 1964, working dawn to dusk, 6 to 7 days a week.
It's hard work, mate. It's, you know, it was hard, especially when you're crossing rivers, alligator-infested rivers.
But there was a catch. Like most Aboriginal people, his wages were mainly kept from him by the Queensland Government. It said for safekeeping and to stop money being wasted.
As a 15-year-old, I think I was on about £5 a week. And there was supposed to be, I think 10 shillings supposed to come to your hand, but never received that.
Hans only discovered his money was missing when he went to collect it after 10 years of hard labour.
When the sergeant of police called me up to the police station, me and the wife went up and he had a cheque there waiting for me for £28. I said, is this all I'm getting? Well, that's all you had.
Hans estimates he should have earned £7,000, enough for a new house for his wife and kids. He's one of thousands of Aboriginal people whose wages were lost or stolen over an 80-year period.
A worker like Hans was a key part of the pastoral industry and thereby the wealth of Queensland. Now, what happened is that Hans never even got that piece of his money.
The first 10 years of your life, you're working to buy yourself a home, you know, to set your family up. That's every person's dream, you know.
Hans has been living in Townsville public housing for 46 years.
For him to be still living in a social housing, a public housing house, 50 years later, because of that thwarted ambition, you know, it's just it's like a great bitterness inside me.
Aboriginal leader Noel Pearson feels his uncle's pain.
That's the original bridle bit we used to break counters in, you know, counters. Yeah.
That was your horse?
It was mine.
Yeah, yours.
Mine, yeah. I was going to make a fortune out of the cattle industry, but it didn't happen.
If you want to understand Indigenous disadvantage in 2016, it has its roots back then. Where would he and his children be, and his grandchildren be, if that virtuous cycle had taken place? Namely, he had a house in the 60s, and when his oldest children started getting married in the 70s and 80s, Mum and Dad, with their family home, helped the next child.
Hans Pearson is the lead claimant in a legal class action filed today against the Queensland Government to recover stolen wages.
Worked for over 10, 12 years for nothing, you know. We can't just let this slip by the roadside, you know. We can't.
I had no idea Uncle Hans was preparing this case. He'd been working hard on it with his lawyer.
This statement of claim obtained by 730 argues the Queensland Government breached the trust of Aboriginal people by failing to protect their money.
was clearly a breach of trust, and so we're intending to take the matter to court along with all the other people, and we've already got 300 claimants.
Historian Dr Ros Kidd is a consultant to the class action. She believes there is substantial documentary evidence to support the claim.
There were internal inquiries, there were investigations, and there are audit reports every year, and I've got every one of them from 1940 to 1990. And they, time after time after time, that's what they said, this money is going missing. You need for people to be able to see a record of their accounts to stop this sort of fraud.
In 2002, in an attempt to avoid court action, the Queensland Government set up a reparations scheme paying each person up to $4,000 in return for waiving their legal rights.
This offer is made in the spirit of reconciliation, as a demonstration of our genuine desire to heal the past so we can move on.
Hans Pearson signed up because he was desperate. His payment has recently been topped up, and in total he's received $9,000.
That's $9,000 for 10, 12 years of work, you know. That's not right, that's not justice.
His lawyer and family believe Hans was conned.
Well, we don't think that the discharge and release which he was forced to sign is valid or binding. We think that the way that it was imposed was unconscionable.
Dr Ros Kidd claims the amount paid by the Queensland Government is minuscule compared to the actual amount that is owed.
I did an estimate, which Peter Beattie actually mentioned in Parliament, of $500 million.
Queensland's Indigenous Affairs Minister Curtis Pitt declined to comment, saying the matter is before the courts.
Even this little place I'd like to own, eh?
Yeah. Hopes and dreams.
Hopes and dreams, yeah.
Hans Pearson is hoping the class action fulfills his lifelong dream of owning his Townsville home and results in justice for Aboriginal people.
But hope justice will be done, you know. They will be compassionate with us and just give us what they owe us.
This is as important as Mabo. There's a precedent here that is of fundamental cornerstone justice as Mabo, because the opportunity cost that he has foregone and that entire generation has foregone.
We'll keep you posted on how that unfolds. Michael Atkin reporting.